What the fuck is up, y'all? So today we are going to talk about the Street Pro, and I'm not totally sure where to start, so I figure we'll just start with addressing this. Let's get to the elephant in the room, and no, it's not that boosted logo on my table. I cut the bro deck. Yeah, I did. So go ahead and start dropping your fucking comments about how you don't like it, because I don't care. It was a struggle. I wanted to do, we got to talk about what I was going for here. I wanted to make a race board. I really love the bro deck. I wanted to do something in the spirit of it. I also had the No Kingpin 3-link racing trucks from Stooge Race Boards, and I was really wanting to put them on something fast for a nice super fast street track build. Like, you ride it in the street, you take it to the track, you know, whatever, it can do it. So it's kind of what we're going for here. By choosing those trucks with this deck, and kind of those trucks with any deck, they're a little bit different. So you need a little bit of extra length or clearance from the ends, and you know, a lot of turn radius and everything. In making my choice here, I had two options, and that was going to be A, I cut the deck, or B, get some fucking metal angle adapters, you know, and that those would have brought me down like this and pushed them out, and I probably could have done it without, you know, making a cut in the deck. But now I'm assembling a fucking erector set on my skateboard, and I kind of just like, you know, no shit, I fucking sat here and went back and forth with it for definitely several weeks, just debating on, because once you cut the deck is cut. Now, if I hated it, I could always just get another deck. But yeah, well, we're talking about this here, so I don't think I hate it. We're at probably like 99% completion, 98% completion on this build right now, so I feel comfortable bringing it to you and talking about it. So we're going to get into it. There's really not much left for me to be wanted on it at this time. It has turned out to be such an epic build. So where should we start? It's the Bro 96 deck. I wanted to go with one front binding. I can still pop on a rear binding if I want, but I really wanted to be able to move my foot freely in the back. I also keeping the front binding pretty loose so my foot can move around on it. I love having all that deck space again. You know, it goes back to regular like street skate routes and everything, and I like that. It's one thing that I miss when I'm on my mountain board is that my feet are stuck in both bindings and there's no like in between deck space. So I'm loving that I can move my feet around on this nice. The other thing is I like the graphics in the middle, and I missed that I had to cover that up with the battery box on the mountain build. So we went with clear grip tape on this so that we could still see the Haero board logo dead center on the deck. I actually was like this close to adding some other stickers underneath, but I wanted to stick kind of clean. When I cut the deck, I was trying super hard to not cut into the logo if I could help it. So my cuts tried to stay away from it, and like this thing when riding it, these front wheels get so close here. I think I still might have a little bit more trimming to do on it. Forgive me if I start jumping around on this. I just started getting fucking excited. Oh, what next? So we know it's got the Moe Stooge 3-link racing trucks. We went with the custom group orders that we did here in our collective, and we got the PNW ESK8 branded flip ski battle hardened 6384 motors, but we got them wrapped at 140 kV so that they would be low. I wanted low kV so that I could run high voltage. As far as the wheels, as you can see, this is like I've been wanting these XCELL rims forever. They're the Valken XTs. I got them in nickel plated, so it looks, you know, chromed out. I mean, they look like street racing rims that you'd have on a car, and that's really what I was going for with this. Is I wanted it to have that feel when you're looking at it. The other thing that we can see as we're looking at it from here is that it's got these anti-sink plates on it. So these are derelict robot anti-sink plates. The front one's just like totally dope. The back one's totally dope, and it's got 4 holes on it, which are to externally mount the GPS unit for the Robogacci. Robogacci is on the coming soon list for this one, and the next few months I'm going to add a Robogacci into the mix, but we'll get to that later. I needed to add some risers in to get the clearance that I needed as well, so it's got a riser up here and then a riser in the back. I think I also threw in a small rubber anti-shock riser or whatever, and the tires are the 175 by 50 7-inch Evolve tires. I was going with 165s originally. They wouldn't stretch right on these rims, and then these just stretched out perfect and give me a little bit more clearance underneath. This thing is so low to the ground, and I wanted that, but it's like there's a delicate balance between super low to the ground, racy, and like too low to the ground. And this thing was fucking teetering on it with the 165s, and these 175s, it really does make a little bit of difference, and I feel so much better. I say a little bit. It makes a big difference, and I feel a lot better about it. So that's everything you see from out here. You see I got the Hoyt puck sitting up there because it has a Hoyt puck. That's what I control all of my boards with at this point. It's what I feel the absolute most comfortable with. If we go a little bit deeper into this, you'll see here, this is a e-boosted out of Peru. It's an e-boosted double stack enclosure for the Haero Pro. It's an offset double stack. I think, don't hold me to this, you go look at the fucking website and figure everything out yourself. I think it can do a 12S AP is what it can run. This build is an 18S 5P. It can do 8 batteries across the bottom, 8 cells, and I stacked my 5 P packs, or my P packs of 5 are set double stacked offset, so it's 3 on the bottom and then 2, and then that's 1 P pack, and then the next is like this, and the next is like this. So that's how it all comes together. So as you see here in this picture that I hopefully have up on the screen at this point, you can see the way that it all ribs together. Starting from the bottom, that one bar is a 5P3S brick, basically. Every P pack has insulator cell rings. Every P pack is wrapped in fish paper, and then the P packs are then additionally glued together and bound in the Kapton tape, whatever the fuck that shit is, that tape. They're all bound in that, and then it's about, I think, a 0.4 nickel is what we have on everything. So it's a 0.4, 2 layers of 0.2 nickel, and then in some high flow areas there's an extra 0.2 nickel strip in the connections. Everything has 0.15 nickel tabs coming up for the BMS. As you go up, so you got the 1, the 2, the 3, and then the next one, that is a brick wrapped of 3 of the bricks of the 3S. So that together is a 9S, everything coming together to make the 18S. This feeds into a smart, or is charged by a smart BMS, and then the battery itself actually feeds into the Stormcore 100D2. Yep, it's a 100D2 Stormcore. I'm waiting on the 5.3 firmware to come out, which is going to have a lot of benefits, which we'll talk about in another video. Currently it has the Hoyt puck receiver in it for the control, and then I have a couple of MetrPro modules, and Robogaccis are backed up, so I threw a MetrPro module in it so I can have some telemetry and everything. And there's actually been a lot of changes to that program, good improvements and features added to it since I last used it. Got me definitely excited about it. And I have a U-split in here currently because it's a Stormcore and it only has 1 UART port. So that's going to give me, that U-split is a multiplexer, and it takes the 1 port and gives me 3 ports out of the 1 port. Perfect, because what we're going to actually end up doing is we're going to be running the Metr Pro, and we're going to be running the OSRR remote, and then maybe throw something up in there. I'd like to do the Robogotchi for the always on data logging. That would be really great. Yeah, so that's what's in there right now. I did do a loop key because I like a loop key just as, I don't know, something about it allowing me to just disconnect the battery from the outside, from the rest of the electronics inside really makes me feel good. My charge port is fused with a 5 amp inline fuse. The charger we're using is this ginormous 18S 8 amp charger, and I put an XT60 end on it, and then likewise this has an XT60 charge port. Right now I'm covering that charge port when I'm riding with gaff tape, but I'm working on at some point I'm working on getting a 3D printed cover for it or something a little bit better than just that, but it has a nice 3D printed port that I've put on there and put it in, along with a nice 3D printed port for the XT90 loop key. So that's where I am with the build. I've probably got out and put between 50 and 100 miles on it, somewhere in there. Roughly at this point. I've had it running for a couple of weeks, just testing and tuning. Next thing for me is gonna open it up and just do like a pack inspection, make sure all the wires and everything, the pack's looking good, all my wires and connectors are looking good, everything is still looking nice and secured. At that point, I'm going to, and there'll be a nice whole video on this, we're gonna add the Derelict Robot Industries OSRR remote up into the mix. Super excited about this guy. It's got on-screen telemetry all on this LCD panel, and it's going to be really nice. So we're going to be putting that in, and we'll have some things coming on that. The other want that I'm going for is I need lights somehow, and I don't want it to look gaudy. I want it to be like kind of low-key. So I'm trying to figure out a way to throw some shred lights up on here. I've been wrapping a single light up here at the front for at night, so I have a light on there. But I want to be able to throw 2 lights on the front and the back. So I want to figure out how to fit the shred lights in there. I've been debating on whether or not to put a buck converter in there and do like built-in lights and everything, and you know, either have them always on or a rocker switch or something on the side. I keep going back to just feeling like I just want to kind of keep it simple on here for some reason, as far as like, and it actually complicates charging because I need to charge lights then. So I don't know. I'm struggling between whether I want to So I don't know. I'm struggling between whether I put the shred lights on there or come up with some sort of integrated light that I put on there that's just built into the system that I don't charge. I feel like the integrated lights adds more things in. I don't know. I've heard people talk about, I've ran buck converters before and not had an issue, but I've heard people recently talk about having interference with their remote. So that's what kind of sketches me about throwing another buck converter up in here, especially now that I'm running even higher voltage and we'll be dropping that down to like 12 volts or something for lighting. So, and there's not a lot of room, like, you know, I'd love to put some underglow on here, like some ground effects lighting, but I don't see how I could pull that off without looking gaudy. And yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think about lighting? Let me know in the comments below. At this point, what would you do? So I think that's it for this video. Drop all your comments below. Hate on me for cutting the deck. You know, show me love because I cut the deck. Oh, riding. I should just, yeah. That's not all for this video. Okay, so now that we've discussed all of that, how does this thing ride? Pretty amazing. I get... The one thing that kind of really throws me off is hitting bumps or roots or something like that. Like, it has a really big jerk to it. And I think it's because I have it so loose in the front. The rear is... no turn, there's 0 steer, so I can lean as hard as I want on the rear and it's not going to steer. But the front is where it gets all the action at. So when you hit a root or an abnormality in the trail or something like that, it feels really jerky in the front to me. And at this point, the way it's set up. I don't think that I can remove any more steer from the front without using wedge risers or angle adapters or something like that, which, like, at this point I've cut the deck, why would I do that? But other than that, I mean, even that, it feels like, but it doesn't ever really feel unstable. This thing feels amazing. Like, at low speeds, it's amazing. At high speeds, it's really amazing. Like, the way that it like locks in, kind of the faster you go, I feel like the more stable it feels. I have the MetrPro on here, and I have an alert set up. I think it's every 5 minutes it'll tell me how fast I'm going, and then every 10 minutes it'll tell me what my elapsed mileage so far is. So I'll be cruising along and it'll tell me I'm doing like 30 or 35, and I'm like, whoa, really? Because it does not feel like that. It just starts feeling so smooth, and you can just carve so well with it. Yeah, so that's my feelings, like, as far as like how it's going so far on it. I hope to get more testing and tuning in. I have a little bit more just finishing touches, trimming out some of my cuts. So that's where I am with it. Yeah, what do you guys think? Drop me some comments below, ask any questions about the build. Maybe I've missed like putting something in here. I didn't do like a how to build a battery thing because I don't feel comfortable teaching a how to build a battery thing. There's a lot of thought and time and process that needs to go into something like that because it's a very serious project when you build a battery. You know, time, patience, and knowledge, and you can probably do it. But it's just not something you should just do. And it was also the longest part of this whole build, I swear. I don't even know how many hours I put into it, actually doing the battery build itself. I don't have a good estimate, but yeah, it was my first battery, and I would not be surprised if the actual hands-on time was like 24 more hours, seriously. Anyways, let me know what you think below. Talk shit to me because I cut the deck. Tell me you like that I cut the deck. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, if I missed something. In the next video, maybe we'll be doing a review of and or installing the OSRR remote or something like that. But as always, love you guys. Boom, boom, boom. You know what to click, what to do. See you guys in the next video.